in it. Captain Jim is looking at a Home Depot. Look at this, Garrett. A classic move with the volume profile. We had a nice rally yesterday. Test
Mhm.
the bottom of the value area. That's when you do want to get into a short to get the best price in. Now, why would something like Home Depot though be down on a down day with Apple? Tech, home improvement? What?
All retail's in trouble right now. Retail stocks today are really breaking down. If you look at Carvana, it's off 20%. We're seeing a handful of different retail companies really getting beaten up. And regardless of whether or not it's Home Depot or anybody else in this space, retail faces a lot of headwinds. Again, consumer discretionary spending is continuing to be anchored on credit and people pulling out of their savings. That can only go until it breaks. The other component here, though, one of the things I was talking about 2-3 days ago is that Amazon's going to be doing a big Prime event in October, a month before Black Friday. That's going to hammer the entire retail brick and mortar arena. And regardless, a lot of people think that Home Depot has some sort of moat around it. It doesn't. There are plenty of companies in the space that are able to do delivery. There's plenty of companies in the space. Amazon's moving into that world as well. So Home Depot getting beaten up, testing these new lows. Consumer discretionary, housing prices continue to go up. People are not taking out loans in order to do home improvement right now. Again, if you did a refinance or you took capital out of your equity, it's going to cost you way more right now than it did last year. That impacts companies like Home Depot and Lowe's.
Garrett, we have a question from The Avenger. Do you think the hurricane disaster will drive sales for Lowe's and Home Depot? And how will supply chains be impacted on home builders in Florida? Great question,
I wouldn't
Avenger.
I wouldn't speculate on that. I think that that's a news-driven kind of event. Yes, it's going to be billions of dollars in damage. Yes, I'm going to be spending a lot of money at Home Depot, but you got to keep in mind that Florida's one state in a state of 50, and they may get some sort of short-term type of thing. But that is a news type of trade, and I highly advise anyone who sees a headline and goes, "Oh, well, if there was a hurricane, obviously people are going to spend money at Home Depot." I want to warn you of something. There were, and there's a reason why if you look at the news and people say, why didn't people evacuate? Why didn't people leave Zone A? Why didn't people leave Zone B? They didn't have the resources to do it. So there are a lot of people who may not even have money to rebuild. You have to keep this in mind. That's the struggle of this economy. That's the challenges of the consumer discretionary. Don't look at a headline like this and say, oh, this is an opportunity for a retail company. That is a classic trap of your capital. Focus on the trend, and the trend is lower for longer.